Hi, Student Inquiry. It's your very own Sick Twos, Megan Wade. I'm joined by Dr. Mar. She is one of our program chairs in our Forbes School of Business, and she has graciously agreed to sit down with us and answer some questions to give you a chance to learn a little bit more about our Forbes School of Business, so that hopefully you can better help our students here at Ashford University. Hi, Dr. Mar. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Megan. It's my pleasure to be here.
Nice to meet you. From your perspective, what does having a partnership with Forbes School of Business really mean for our students?
It can mean a great deal to a variety of students. One of the things students should think about in the university is Forbes magazine is an institution in the business world. Their motto is the capitalist tool. Meaning that people that are in the business industry use Forbes magazine for insight, for information, for details, what's going on. It's more than just the top 40 or the top 500.
Right, there's a lot more to it.
There's a lot more to it, and Forbes has been around almost 100 years, working
Wow.
in the business field. So our students have that advantage by going to the Forbes School of Business. As professors here, we have been able to incorporate Forbes information into the classroom. We have a Forbes showcase in every business classroom, which includes articles and videos from Forbes magazine on a variety of business topics.
Oh, wow. And so right on their diploma, it says Forbes School of Business.
Correct.
And it's also going to have...
Yes, coming up very soon, I think in the next graduating class,
Okay.
I believe it's in the beginning of October, Steve Forbes himself will be signing the degrees. And so his name
Wow.
will be on the degree. His signature will be there.
And what was that quote you said right in the beginning that might be something really good that our student inquiry coordinators could use when
Okay.
they're talking with our prospective students? Can you give us that again?
Sure. It's the motto. It's actually Forbes' motto from them about themselves. And they refer to themselves as the capitalist tool.
Okay,
So the tool
perfect.
for someone who is a capitalist, which basically means, well, all of us. So, when students are coming to go to the Forbes School of Business, they're getting business degrees, so they will be working in the business environment. And therefore, the Forbes magazine is a great tool for them to learn about different industries in the business world.
Perfect. And what do you see as a couple of unique features that we are now able to offer our business students because of our partnership with Forbes, rather than other universities that they can't do?
Okay. First of all, we are allowed to incorporate Forbes information straight into our classrooms under the Forbes showcase. That's a copyright issue, so we've been allowed because we're a Forbes educational partner. Secondly, we offer Forbes speaker series that the students can stream live or watch on video.
Okay.
People such as Steve Forbes himself was at the last speaker series. Two or three speaker series ago here in San Diego, a woman named Consuela, who was the first woman lieutenant or major, one of those high-ranking officers in the U.S. Army.
Oh,
and
wow.
she came and spoke. Very inspirational woman. So our students have that advantage that other universities don't offer them. We also have the Forbes Women's Conference that, while the students don't attend, the professors attend and other people at Forbes University attend, and we share that information with them. And very prestigious women are there, everywhere from the Vice Admiral of the Navy to Robin Roberts. I actually got her book signed. I met Goldie Hawn there.
Wow.
So once again, that's an advantage for our students that other students don't see. And of course, like I said, coming forward, their degree will actually have Steve Forbes' name on it.
Right. And can you give us some examples of some of the topics that you've heard of that they've spoken on?
Steve Forbes actually just spoke on politics. It was a couple months ago, so it was probably right before the primary, I think, started.
Okay.
So he just spoke on the difference of the political candidates and how that might impact the business world. Consuela spoke on a very motivational speech on using your past to make you the positive person you are. So
Wow.
instead of using your past as an excuse, like
Yeah.
for instance, I was very sick, so I wasn't able to do this, or I come from a poor family, so I wasn't able to do this. Use that to help you improve yourself. One of her quotes, which is actually very funny, is she was born on the 3rd Street north of Mexico. And that's very poignant, because if she was born 4 streets south, she wouldn't have been born in the United States. She would have been born in Mexico. And so her family were immigrants, they were poor people, she had 7 brothers or sisters. So she really shared her story to help people motivate and let them realize that, we all have baggage. We all have things in our background that that may have happened to us, but those things make you the best person you are, not the worst person you can be.
Wow, that's really
Oh,
powerful,
she was wonderful.
and some of I know our students and could really benefit from.
Oh, definitely.
this.
I think people can relate to this. Our student body are people who, for them, education right now is a second chance. They've done it later in life. They didn't go straight out of high school. And so it's important to realize that everything that's happened in your life has made you the strong person you are now, not taken away from who you might be.
And how you can use that to your advantage rather than a disadvantage.
Exactly. And so that was very motivational.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And since partnering with Forbes, has our curriculum changed at all for our business students?
It has in a couple of ways. One, the Forbes Showcase, and the important part of the Forbes Showcase isn't just that we've been allowed to put it in, it's also the fact that it allows students jumping boards for great discussions. These are Forbes articles. These are professional business people writing about the real business world. Okay? In addition, as professors, we're also allowed to be contributors to Forbes now.
Okay.
And if we're selected, that means that the very person teaching you could possibly be published in Forbes.
Featured in Forbes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they have it's called Contributor at Large at Forbes,
Okay.
and so they allow people outside that don't actually work for Forbes to contribute. Right?
Okay.
Additionally, our students also have the ability to get the Forbes scholarships. Forbes School of Business has 2 scholarships, the Entrepreneurship Scholarship, which is ran all through the year, and then the Senior Project Scholarship, which is only ran once. And it's only for Forbes School of Business students because they have to submit their Forbes School of Business capstone project. So if
Okay.
you're an undergrad, you submit your project, your capstone project. If you win, that money goes to you going to graduate school in the Forbes School of Business. But the unique part of that is people from Forbes, high management, executive level, people of Forbes selects those scholarship winners.
Wow, that's a
yeah.
huge accomplishment for the
Yeah.
winner of that.
It's amazing because we narrow it down. I have a committee, so we might have 20 people and we keep narrowing it. But for instance, last year we sent them 5 people and they picked 2 winners because it can be up to 5.
Okay.
And they actually, it's kind of interesting because they send me a little table with feedback, and it's very business oriented feedback. It's not about, well, every now and then it'll say that was really bad grammar, but typically it's business feedback. Like, while this was a valid idea, it showed no forecasting, or while this showed a lot of forecasting, they didn't evaluate their target market well enough. So it really is business feedback.
And can you tell me, because as a student inquiry coordinator, I mentioned these scholarships to prospective business students when they mentioned that's the school that they are interested in. Can you give me a little bit of insight of the kind of students, the difference between the 2 scholarships, and what kind of student would apply for one versus the other?
Okay. The Entrepreneurship Scholarship runs 5 times a year. It has 5 deadlines. Matter of fact, entry period 3 just ended. We just selected a winner. That scholarship is open to all students, even prospective students, so even people that call in that aren't even here, don't go to school here yet. So the guy in the corner, that's why I always say, that guy could get a scholarship. Okay, so and that is basically, we ask them for 5 things about their business. What's your main objective, who's involved in it, a little bit of forecasting, the idea, just 5 things. They need to submit that and a letter saying why they want the scholarship. So if, say, the student, for instance, is in health and sciences or in gen ed, they can still apply, but the funds are only good for a Forbes School of Business. So they would have to then transfer over to the Forbes School of Business. But that scholarship is open, like I said, to anybody. It could be undergrad, graduate, prospective student, anyone. Alumni, anyone. As long as they fulfill the requirements and upload the information. The senior scholarship is mostly for students who have a Forbes School of Business bachelor's degree and would like to get a master's degree from the Forbes School of Business. Now they have an entire year from the time they wrote their capstone, so they could have been out of school for 364 days. They got that 1 day left.
Deadline.
To get that in. So in their case, you had to have been a Forbes School of Business student because you have to submit your capstone project. That's once a year. The deadline is August 1st, so it just ended, so we will start uploading them and evaluating them. That is the group that then goes on to the actual Forbes magazine executives, and they narrow it down and select a winner from 1 to 5 winners.
Wow. Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And you've given me so much information, and this is going to be hugely beneficial for all of the student inquiry department. What are 1 or 2 things that you're most passionate about when it comes to our partnership with Forbes, and what you wish every student was made aware of?
I think every I worked here before we became the Forbes School of Business, so I was here during transition.
Okay.
I was actually new.
Experienced it all.
Yeah, I've been here. I was actually here maybe 4 months when it started, and I can remember the first time I got an email and it said, we're in negotiations to become the Forbes School of Business, and especially us new people. There's like 5 of us who started together. We were. Wow, the Forbes? I mean, we actually asked, do you actually mean the Forbes or
sure?
some, other Forbes, some fake Forbes. And so we were very impressed. Being business people, we all have doctorate degrees in business areas, so we're very aware of the Forbes name. So I would hope our students can get that excited about it. I mean, this is a magazine that I know I myself have been reading for, I don't say my age, but for about 25 years. And so, I'm very well acquainted with it.
Right.
I think they need to take advantage of everything that this name does for us and them. Log into those speaker series, watch these professional business icons speak, learn from them. Apply for the Forbes School of Business scholarships. Just think of the opportunity that they have that other students don't have that go to other universities because of the Forbes name. And it's not just the name that we're using, we are partnerships with them. I myself have met Steve Forbes 3 times. You just, hey, hi Steve, how you doing? He's there, we chat. I met his daughter Maura, who also helps run the magazine. I met her at the Forbes Women's Conference. So it's not just using their name. We really are their educational partner. And that is a great advantage to any student who gets a degree from the Forbes School of Business.
Yeah, excellent. And what are a few talking points that our student inquiry coordinators were talking with the prospective students, their first introduction and point of contact at our university, what we can mention to get our students excited about the partnership we have with Forbes? You've already given us a lot of exciting points, but is there anything else you could think of that could really help us out?
One thing, and I was actually just thought of this while I was thinking about quotes, because I just gave you their own motto, that maybe your department could have some kind of quote about Forbes the magazine. Like do some research on Forbes, and if they say Forbes is the top business magazine in the world, I don't know if it is, but if it is, it only has 2 competitors. It basically has Fortune and Bloomberg's publication. So, the industry is small. But if you could find some kind of great quote that says, Forbes is the most widely read business magazine in the world, telling this prospective student that would be very powerful.
It'll catch their ear right
like,
away.
And even if they've never heard of it, say, well, here, Forbes.com, go read an article, read a couple and see what you think about it. Right. You might also want to stress to the student that because we are their educational partner, we do have the benefits I've mentioned, like the scholarship and the speaker series and the showcase in every classroom. And lastly, I think you want to remind any student that's calling in to be a business student that if they have not heard of Forbes, they want to start. Right. I mean,
that's your first step,
yeah, it's
right?
it's so unrealistic to think that you could be a business person in this world and not at least look at Forbes magazine.
Right.
We actually, as of last year, right before the marketing person left, she got it so that all of the professors and all the people who work in the Forbes School of Business, we get the hard copy magazine once a month.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Matter of fact, last month's cover was Kim Kardashian.
She knows how to keep a long-running business.
Exactly, and that's what it was about. And once again, it's just like the Forbes Women's Conference. Why Goldie Hawn and Jessica Simpson might be there, they're not talking about their fame and fortune. They're talking about their business, and how they've built it and how they sustained it. And it was the same thing with Kim Kardashian. It's about her business sense, not about her fashion or whatever else she's doing.
Or anything else, but
exactly.
She's kept it for a while.
But I think having someone like Kim Kardashian on the cover makes Forbes very accessible and relatable to people who may not be into, Steve Jobs or Jack Welch, some really big business icons, versus they can relate to Kim Kardashian and see that, business can exist at different levels from different viewpoints. And
reach a whole nother demographic that otherwise they may not have.
Yeah. I mean, we're sick of Donald Trump being on the top of magazine, so they switched it up. They put her on there, so which is good.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. It was a pleasure meeting you. I know you're super busy. We talked about your travels all over the world, so thank you so much for joining us here today.
It's been a pleasure.
Student Inquiry, I hope you learned a lot from this and got a lot of speaking points to help our not only Ashford University out, but our prospective students. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.